I'd like to call to order the City Council meeting for May 3rd. Please stand. Join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We have the roll, please.
Belzak,
Here.
Clistic, Gustafson,
Here.
Kenny,
Here.
Shower,
Here.
Sullivan,
Here.
Vaughn,
Here.
6 present and 1 absent.
We have a quorum. It takes us to questions, comments, and announcements of a general nature. This is usually a time that we allow members of the audience to come forward and with regard to items that could be on the agenda but are not on the agenda. If you're here tonight for the item dealing with the Sokol property for the apartments, I would ask that you save your comments till we hit item 14 on the agenda. Item 14, it deals with questions related to the agenda. So if anybody does not want to wait till then, please come forward now. If not, please hold your questions to number 14 on our agenda. Okay. Takes us to approval of the minutes for April 19th, 2021. Do I have a motion to approve? Alderman Kenny, seconded by Alderwoman Sullivan. Any questions? If none, the roll.
Kenny,
Aye.
Sullivan,
Aye.
Vaughn,
Aye.
Shower,
Abstain.
Belzak,
Aye.
Gustafson,
Aye.
5 ayes, 1 absent, and 1 abstention.
The minutes have been approved. Takes us to receiving of communications. Do any of the aldermen have communications they'd like to share with the council? Alderwoman Sullivan?
Well, I'm sure many of my fellow council members have received an extensive number of emails from residents in the surrounding neighborhood of the townhomes and the condominiums surrounding the proposed Darien Heights residence on Sokol Court. And all of them, you know, and I think I'm up to 100 now, emails and several phone calls and meetings in person are stating with a resounding, please don't build this development. So that's been the majority of my communications.
Thank you. Anyone else? Alderman Gustafson?
Yeah, I also received quite a few emails and stuff regarding opposition to the apartment building. And one other thing I did, my wife and I were actually out walking by the AmVets at the Walmart parking lot this past Sunday, and talking with the lot person there, and he indicated that they're getting, people are now dumping grass clippings, bags of grass clippings off at the AmVets. And it's becoming a nuisance. There were 8 bags just the Saturday night that got dropped. And unfortunately now what they're doing at the lot there, they're ripping the bags open and dumping it all into the wetland, which I told them that can't be done either. So I mentioned it to Dan. And Dan, I think we're going to try to reach out to AmVets and see what we can do on this, right?
That's correct, yes.
I'm
I
assuming.
mean, what if someone's caught doing this? What is the penalty?
I couldn't tell you the penalty, but, you know, I know we have some ordinances that's basically trash dumping. Greg, maybe you can interject on that?
There would be both a ordinance violation, which I'm not sure the penalty, but it would be, you know, whatever the hearing officer would put forward. But there's also criminal charges under the state violation for dumping product in wastelands. So I don't know if that's a Class A or a felony amount, but if that's the case, it would be a year in prison or a year in jail and $1,000 fine.
Yeah, maybe that's what it will take to stop this nonsense, and maybe it's a camera or something that maybe we'll have to look into doing this, because it's happening constantly now, he's indicating. I mean, he spends an hour a day just emptying those bags.
Yeah, we'll have to reach out to corporate, just so the city council knows they are under a special use. So if and when this becomes a problem, the city does have the opportunity to revoke the use.
Yeah, because it is extremely busy there. So I mean, I don't want to lose, you know, that capability there, because people use that all the time.
We'll reach out to them, see what opportunities they can provide for the city to make this, make it neater there.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Anything else? Any of the other aldermen have anything they'd like to share?
I guess the only question I'm going to ask Mayor is, should we give, to save time, I typically announce the names, but should we give the list of communications to the clerk for the record? No? Okay. Okay. Just asking.
We're all copied.
Okay, if there's none, that takes us to the mayor's report. I have a proclamation to read tonight. Whereas safety is the highest priority for the highways and streets of our city and state, and whereas the great state of Illinois is proud to be a national leader in motorcycle safety, education, and awareness, and whereas motorcycles are a common and economical means of transportation that reduces fuel consumption and road wear and contributes in a significant way to the relief of traffic and parking congestion, and whereas it is especially meaningful that the citizens of our city and state be aware of motorcycles on the roadways and recognize the importance of motorcycle safety, and whereas the members of Duquesne ABATE, which stands for A Brotherhood Aimed Towards Education, continually promote motorcycle safety, education, and awareness in high school drivers' education programs and to the general public in our city and state, presenting motorcycle awareness programs to over 120,000 participants in Illinois over the past 6 years. And whereas all motorcyclists should join Duquesne ABATE of Illinois in actively promoting the safe operation of motorcycles, as well as promoting motorcycle safety, education, awareness, and respect of the citizens of our city and state. Whereas the motorcyclists of Illinois had contributed extensive volunteerism and money to national and community charitable organizations. And whereas during the month of May, all roadway users should unite in the safe sharing of roadways with the city of Darien and throughout the great state of Illinois. Now, therefore, I, Joseph A. Marquez, Mayor of the city of Darien in the great state of Illinois, in recognition of 34 years of Duquesne ABATE of Illinois Incorporated and over 352,318 registered motorcyclists statewide, and in recognition of the continued role Illinois serves as a leader in motorcycle safety, education, and awareness, do hereby proclaim the month of May this year, 2021, as Motorcycle Awareness Month in the city of Darien, and I urge all motorists to join in an effort to improve safety and awareness on our roadways. Do we have anybody here tonight from ABATE to receive this proclamation? If not, we will make sure that gets to them as soon as possible. The next item under the mayor's report is consideration of a motion to approve the reappointment of John E. Callan to the Board of Fire and Police Commissioners. Ask for a motion to approve. Alderman Shower, second by Alderman Kenny. Any questions? None, the roll.
Shower,
Aye.
Kenny,
Aye.
Sullivan,
Aye.
Vaughn,
Aye.
Gustafson,
Aye.
Belzak,
Aye.
6 ayes and 1 absent.
John said he was going to be here tonight. Is John outside there, possibly? No? Okay. Consideration of a motion to approve the reappointment of Robert Irk and Sylvia MacGyver to the Environmental Committee. Motion to approve. Alderman Shower, seconded by Alderwoman Sullivan. Any questions or comments? If none, the roll.
Shower,
Aye.
Sullivan,
Aye.
Belzak,
Aye.
Gustafson,
Aye.
Kenny,
Aye.
Vaughn,
Aye.
6 ayes and 1 absent.
It's been approved. Is either Robert or Sylvia here? Robert,
See
come on.
Sylvia back
They're both
there.
there.
Sylvia and Robert, come on forward, please. Face the clerk, please.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Illinois, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of Environmental Committee according to the best of my ability. Here are your cards. Nothing to sign because it's a reappointment. Thank you.
Congratulations, guys. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sylvia.
Thank you.
What's up? How you doing?
How about us?
As all of you know, on Monday mornings, I attend a Zoom call every Monday morning with the DuPage County Health Department. And every week I get updates on figures. So I'd like to give just a brief report. Today, our call began with a review of the DuPage County Health Department news conference that was held last week, wherein Chairman Cronin announced a goal of having 80% of eligible residents vaccinated by July 1st, 2021. That's the goal for DuPage County, and that is a goal that they ask each municipality to work on. I'd also like to report that DuPage County, reportedly approximately 88.6% of DuPage County residents over 65 have received a first dose, and 81% are fully vaccinated. That's quite an accomplishment. Also, an update on vaccinations was provided by the DuPage County Health Department. DuPage County reported an administration of 453,697 first doses and 335,220 fully immunized residents. That does not count those individuals vaccinated in DuPage County who work in DuPage County but don't live in DuPage County. DuPage County is third in the entire state of Illinois for residents receiving at least one dose, and we lead the Chicago region in fully vaccinated individuals. DuPage County also advised members that effective today, the vaccination clinic at the county fairground is accepting walk-ins. Vaccinations take 30 minutes or less, including the observation time after receiving the vaccination. Walk-ins are from 8:30 to 12 Monday through Saturday, and appointments can still be made. I'd also like to just reiterate something I mention every time we have a council meeting, and that is we continue to plan for our 9/11 commemorative event that will take place this September. Representatives from each of our local schools have all reported on their progress, and invitations have all gone out to our surrounding police and fire departments, as well as the county sheriff's office and the Illinois State Police. We have participation from every school district in our Darien area, and our teachers have been wonderful in working with the children and planning out the events. So please mark September 11th on your calendar. We'll be holding a commemorative first responders parade in the morning at 8:30. In the afternoon, we'll have a community picnic at the community park. On Sunday morning, the 12th, we'll go run the Darien Dash from the Swim and Rec Club. And on Sunday afternoon, we will have an outdoor concert at Carriage Greens Country Club. Beyond that, we will have blue ribbons on all of our trees along our parade route. We will have banners on our street lights. We will have children writing letters to our first responders, thanking them for their service. So we have a lot of activities that will be going on that weekend. So mark not only the whole month of September, but mark the 11th and the 12th on your calendars. And that concludes my report. Takes us to our city's clerk's report. Joanne?
No report this evening. Thank you.
Our city administrator?
No report this evening, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. That takes us to department head information and questions. Any questions for either Mr. Gombeck or Chief Thomas? If none, it takes us to our treasurer's report. Michael?
Thank you, Mayor. This evening, we have two warrants because we're overlapping our fiscal year ended April 30th, so requesting council's approval. First of all, warrant number 2021-25 in the amount of $77,548.81 from the listed funds. Payroll for the period ended April 22nd in the amount of $265,822.82 for a total to be approved of $343,371.63.
Motion to approve. Alderman Belzak, second by Alderman Shower. Any questions or comments? If none, the roll.
Belzak,
Aye.
Shower,
Aye.
Gustafson,
Aye.
Vaughn,
Aye.
Sullivan,
Aye.
Kenny.
Aye.
6 ayes and 1 absent.
The warrant's been approved. Michael, the second one?
And the first warrant of the new fiscal year, warrant number 21-2201, in the amount of $30,501.67 from the two listed funds.
Motion to approve. Alderman Shower, second by Alderman Vaughn. Any questions or comments? If none, the roll.
Shower,
Aye.
Vaughn,
Aye.
Sullivan,
Aye.
Kenny,
Aye.
Gustafson,
Aye.
Belzak,
Aye.
6 ayes and 1 absent.
Warrant's been approved. It takes us to standing committee reports. Do any of the chairmen have anything to tell us tonight? Alderman Belzak?
The next Municipal Services Committee meeting will be held on Monday, May 24th at 7 p.m. in council chambers.
Thank you. Alderwoman Sullivan?
The Administrative Finance Committee met this evening prior to council meeting, and we discussed and reviewed some items that will be on the agenda next council meeting. Our next Admin Finance meeting is scheduled for June 7th at 6 p.m. in the conference room upstairs. The Economic Development Committee will be meeting this Thursday, May 6th at 7 p.m. in council chambers. And they will be revealing shortly a Spring into Darien promotion for local businesses. So keep an eye out for that.
Alderman Kenny?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Police Committee meeting are scheduled to meet on Monday, May 17th at 6 p.m. across the parking lot in the police training room.
Thank you. That
One more
takes us-
thing, I'm sorry.
You have any?
Yeah. The Darien Chamber of Commerce is partnering with the Hinsdale School Foundation to hold a golf outing coming up on Friday, May 21st in the afternoon at Carriage Greens. And it's open up to anyone who's interested in attending. So you can get more information about that in the Darien Direct Connect or on the Chamber website or the Hinsdale South Foundation website.
Alderwoman Sullivan mentioned the spring activity. We have contacted businesses within our community and we've asked them to participate in a special spring fling. I think we have about 16 or 17 businesses that will be participating. We'll be running an ad in the newspaper as well as putting stuff out on social media. And basically, these are businesses that have agreed to come up with promotion throughout the month of May and the month of June in an effort to promote business within the city of Darien. Just to update everybody and let everybody know. So be aware of that. That's coming up. That takes us to number 14, questions and comments that are agenda related. And if you're going to get up and speak at this point, I'd like to remind you that you have 3 minutes. So please observe that. So who would like to go first? Please state your name when you come up. You might want to move that microphone down, Annie.
I practice this less than 3 minutes. My name is Annie Shea. I live at 9429 Fountain Point Circle. I, along with most other residents I've talked to, are very against the variances Paul Swanson wants to have passed for this project. There are so many red flags. Granting a variance to add extra units does not guarantee revenue. It guarantees nothing but risk in ways it can fail, like what happened in Orland in a similar location. People will not pay $2,700 to live in an apartment in a building in a field next to a hotel facing a noisy expressway with no amenities. They will go to places like Downers Grove, who have all the amenities, and changing variances to suit that agenda will not change this fact. During COVID, you can't even evict tenants if they choose not to pay. This will also lead to financial disaster. Is that what we want for Darien? To change the rules for a company who doesn't seem to care about Darien. The change in the height variance will greatly impact the landscape, and the community people will feel closed in behind a big dark building that will stand out like a sore thumb if you allow this variance to be changed. Paul doesn't seem interested in changing the alternate designs to match the character of the community, which we saw when he totally disrespected the zoning committee by ignoring their requests for these different variances. The concern about putting a marijuana dispensary was voted down by the committee without hesitation for people's safety and the establishments only being 50 feet away from their homes. This was originally slated for 40 feet by our children's park. Paul wants you to now let it only be 20 feet away from a children's park, raising extremely major concerns for children. A company who doesn't consider the safety of the children, to me, is extremely concerning because it says a lot. We do not know who will be living there, watching the kids from 20 feet away, and because of the height variance he also wants in certain seasons and times of day, can cast a shadow on the park, darkening the park, and that's a very big red flag. We hope the city council and the mayor see these variances should not be passed for the safety of all, especially our children, who should come first and show that changes and variances are completely, unacceptable, and we don't want to do business with someone who disregards everyone in Darien. Is this the kind of business we want to have in our town? And if so, how many other businesses like this will it attract, and what does Darien want to become? Businesses can come and grow, but strong communities make strong towns, and selfish businesses who are only out for themselves makes towns weak and fail, and we feel they will build and leave, and then what will become of Darien, and we can't go back, and we'll all be left here. I have every confidence you will not pass these variances, and we'll see the detriment passing them will cause to the community and the city, and show our values to stand together. Keep people safe and be proud of reputable businesses that want to work with us and be part of our town, and we would stand with you, your community, and your families to vote to keep Darien safe and keep it the nice place it is to live.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Chris Marima. I live in 9405 Waterfowl Glen Boulevard. Good evening, Mayor and the City Council. My name is Chris Marima. My wife and I have lived in Darien for 46 years. The last 19 years at 9405 Waterfowl Glen Boulevard. I am here tonight to voice my objection to the Darien Heights project for several reasons. The building that Mr. Swanson wants to build is too large for the piece of property. He needs 4 variances to build this project. He needs a height variance of 35 feet. He needs a height variance from 35 feet to 40 feet, a setback from 40 feet to 20 feet from our property line and our private park. Also, the number of units from 66 to 68 plus 2 models, which is a total of 70 units, and parking variances. The color of and design of the building does not blend into the existing community of the condos or the townhouses. It'll be an eyesore that my family and neighbors will have to see every day, which I believe will have an impact on our home values and our quality of life. I attended the first planning and zoning meeting, and after testimony from several people and questions from the committee, they recommended Mr. Swanson meet with the Waterfowl Glen community to see if changes could be made to the design or color of the building. We met with Mr. Swanson. He made it very clear he will not make any changes to the design or color of the building. The planning and zoning had a second meeting where Mr. Swanson was asked by the committee if he was able to make any changes. He said no. The committee then voted 7-1 against all requested variances. Then we went to the Municipal Services Committee. After testimony, they could not get a second on the motion, and it failed. I hope the City Council would come to the same findings as the Planning and Zoning and the Municipal Services and follow their recommendation and vote no to this project. If not, then why do we have committees to make these recommendations to the board? If you'd like to go, it's like if you want to go to a store and buy a pair of shoes and you wear a size 10 and you're trying to put your foot into a size 9. It doesn't work. It doesn't fit, just like this project. Again, all of us in the Waterfowl Glen community are asking that you vote no against this project. I may have a couple seconds later. We've been told at several meetings to only talk about this project only. I came early to listen to your work session. Alderman had a lot of questions about 2005. You got a question about 2005? Ask me. I was there. I was amongst a lot of negotiations for a lot of months on why we allowed the project in 2005 to go through. It's not, oh, we gave him this variance, we gave him this. There was reasons why. If you want to ask me a question about it, I'll feel free to answer any questions that anybody has about the 2005 agreement we had with the builder at that time with the city and with us and the Condominium Association.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Wally Wrighton, 9227 Waterfowl Glen. I've been a resident of the city of Darien since 1977 and of this Waterfowl Glen townhome community since 2000. With all due respect to the city leaders who approved a plan for the 2005 Highlands project, we're now benefiting from 16 years of hindsight. Perhaps it was their understandable desire to complete the last piece of the PUD, but we now see the Highlands plan as being too ambitious. It was way too dense for the acreage available. We were fortunate it was never built. Mr. Yankee's spreadsheet, he's outlined a couple reasonable options to start discussions. For the last 20 years, for many of our city officials, most of the residents in our neighborhood, myself included, that vacant lot has been in clear sight but largely out of mind. With hindsight, we're now able to see how much variance was needed to shoehorn the compromised Highlands plan into an area that was originally projected for a small gymnastics center. I'll contend that the 66 units then was still quite dense for the available space, and our city council should now feel no obligation to continue to adhere to that criterion. Think about how much has changed in the last 5 years, and then think about how much has changed in the last 16 years. That was a long time ago. As bad as this 2005 plan, the current plan before you is just as bad, regardless if it's apartments or condos. Today we're dealing with a petitioner who has demonstrated a quiet arrogance in pushing his apartments-only plan, has repeatedly presented the same design he was told clashes with our buildings, and who has ignored the input given to him by the residents and your own plan commission. Please do not underestimate that this is a unique location due to its lot size, the relative isolation, proximity to the current road noise from I-55, and its high profile being an entrance to our city. I've talked to a lot of people, and they just want something that is smaller, more attractive, and better marketed. We have a great town, and you will be able to attract a developer with a better plan, now that this lot is back on everybody's mind. Approve a plan with a proposal with something that's much better. It should not be a choice between a vacant lot or an oversized apartment building with a dubious marketing approach, and it is a dubious marketing approach. Finally, we recognize the central issue before the council is to deny the variances tonight. Please don't drag this out with this petitioner, but rather do what's right, lead us on a path, and the people can get behind you on. Stop any thought of a large-scale building and protect the city's motto as a nice place to live. Thank you.
Anyone else? Please come forward.
Good evening. My name is Don Lettrich. I live at 9257 Waterfall Glen. And I'm glad the chief is here today, because I would like to ask the chief if 65 units would go into that area and it was Section 8 housing, how many more policemen would you have to hire in order to police that? And how many more EMTs and ambulances would we need? Now, my figures are 8 policemen and 1 ambulance. So we have to keep this in mind. This don't come cheap. And Mr. Swanson isn't paying for a dime. That's really all I have to say.
Thank you.
We had an assignment by staff.
Good evening. My name is Kathy Roganella. I live at 2300 Oakmont Way, Darien. I'm in the condo building directly behind this vacant lot. And tonight was the first time I saw the picture of the loading dock. I believe all of you have this. In this diagram, I wish I had something bigger to show you. This is the loading dock right here. My unit is right there. I'm 30 feet away from the loading dock is 30 feet away from the fence where our cars park. And my unit sits right on top of it. Mr. Swanson says, oh, this is not visible from the ground. I will look at it, not only my unit, but everyone on that back end that faces frontage road. There's 16 units. We're all going to be looking at this day in, day out, and who knows how many trucks are going to be pulling in, pulling out. I don't know what kind of deliveries, garbage. I mean, and windstorms, things blowing in there, it's not going to be attractive. And it's bad enough that my unit faces the frontage road for resale value. Add this on top of it, and it's not going to be a good thing for Darien, for everyone in our whole building. So I please beg of all of you, please deny these waivers.
I just want to clarify, that picture is a traditional loading dock. That's not what he's going to build. That picture is a traditional, he just gave that as an example. You're basically going to have two doors, one in, one out, but not that. That's just it's a traditional loading dock that he's not going to build.
Well, he said it was going to go down.
It'll go down on an angle, but you're not going to see that. That's not what you're going to see, that.
Okay. Well, still, the distances, I mean, are still going to be there. And that is where my unit is going to look right down onto that.
Understand.
So,
I just wanted to clarify that,
okay,
that's all.
thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay,
Mayor, maybe you could just make sure the people in the back can hear you
you got to
if
jump.
they want to say anything. Okay.
Good evening. My name is John Baranek. I live at 2320 Green Valley Road, right behind the Walmart over there. I'm here in opposition to adding this new location on to another place to put the cannabis center. We already have 8 locations, and I think if there is an opportunity to bring this business to our city, I think we can choose another location. To be quite honest, I was against Darien joining the drug business myself. I don't think it's the right thing to do for our community, but I know that money drives a lot of decisions, and unfortunately, I think this is a bad money decision. I know a lot of people in my area are against it. Fortunately, if you have to bring it in, there's other locations to consider. And I hope that when all is said and done, you can use that location for another usage, whether it's a restaurant or some other business that would fit well. You got single-family homes right behind there, a couple of different subdivisions, a lot of young kids. You got a grammar school half a block down the street, Marquette Manor virtually across the street, the Darien Park District the other way, not too far away. So I think, if we're going to do this, let's put it in a different location, not somewhere that's so close to a lot of young kids, a lot of young families. Let's keep Darien as a nice image for most of the people that come to live in our city. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Joellen Baranek, and I just want to reiterate what my husband said. Let's think of the children, the traffic, the crime, and keep it out of our neighborhoods. Please do not vote for it. We would appreciate it. Thank you.
Just so the audience understands, we have a item on the agenda to deny changing the zoning on that. So basically, we've already made up our mind that we're not going to go forward with that proposal. And just to qualify for everyone, we have not had any entity come into Darien and tell us that they wanted to establish a marijuana dispensary in Darien. So while we may have locations that we've identified, we don't have anyone interested in coming to this city, just to let everybody know that. Anyone else?
30 seconds left, Mike.
Chris, you already spoke. If we could have somebody maybe in the back. I don't know if anybody in the back, in the lobby there, knows that they can come forward. Anyone?
Hello. My name is George Norick. I live at 2301 Oakmont Way. For the new property, I'm concerned about water runoff because I believe there was a PUD that has water going through our property, and When you take away less green area, I don't know where all this water is going to go. The parking, I'm not sure where you can have off-street parking on frontage road. I don't think that's a good place for parking. I see nowhere to push snow with that property. The property, you're going right up to the edges. There's no place to put the snow and no place for off-street parking. The height against our property line, someone's gonna have a cigarette, they have no choice but to throw it onto our property. I mean, it's so close, it's ridiculous. I've never seen such a poor layout, and I don't even know how you can consider approving this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ted.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Good evening, everybody. My name is Brian Gato. I live at 9267 Waterfall Glen Boulevard. I've been there for 20 years, lived in Darien for probably 38. And my question is, what is the benefit here? Are we looking for tax revenues? I don't understand. I mean, you just finished, or well, the county just finished the frontage road. Now you're going to redo it again after you do some construction on it? Are you Mr. Swanson? No. Is he here? It's a pleasure to meet you, sir. I'm not sure why you want to do this. I'm not
We
sure.
can't hear you.
Sir,
Brian.
talk to the microphone.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
We can't
I just wanted to know who we were dealing with, and I think that it's my right, and that's why I'm here. So, like I said, where's the benefit, city officials? How do we stand to benefit from this? First of all, I don't know if any of you live along that frontage, but at 5 o'clock, when you try to leave, argon is letting out. You have an engineering corps on one end. I don't understand what it is other than monetary. That's all this is. So who stands to benefit? The citizens of Darien? Who? That's the open question to you. You know, I stood here once ago with your empty warehouse for the tax revenues, for the sake of the taxes. My taxes went up, and I just got them today. I bet they went up again. So I think you guys do a great job, honestly. I love my city. I love the people here. It is a nice place to live. But I just don't understand, you know, the way you guys do business. I own a business for 20 years, and it's not easy because I do pay taxes. I pay taxes for everything, including the building that I rent from to do my business. So I don't understand. Where's the revenue? What is the value? What are you trying to do? I mean, is there a hierarchy that's handing you guys down the need for the empty rental market? Because I know that real estate is looking for rentals. And is that what we're going to do? We're just going to run down at the moment and not think about what's down the road? It's time to think, you guys, look, like the people were saying, you know, you owe it to your kids. Enough with the money. You all have enough in Darien, that's for sure. How much do you need? You should look at that forest preserve like the draw, instead of this fictitious downtown you're trying to build. Use the forest preserve. People go there all the time. I mean, it's over inundated, and you have an access to that. I don't understand. So what I would say to you, and I wrote this to your I can't even remember what the title was. There's so many titles these days with government. I wrote that, hey, you guys got to leave room for nature. You got to leave room for nature.
Sir, you've hit your 3 minutes. Could you conclude?
I could go on all night, Mayor, just like you. Thank you.
Hello, Tim Christensen, 9429 Fountain Point Circle, Darien, Illinois. The building is just too large, and I'd prefer one that fit within the ordinances that we have already. And I'd just like to submit these over 40 signatures of people who live in the surrounding buildings who do not want this to be built, so please vote no. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Hi.
My name is Dave Ford, and my wife and Karen, we live at 9252 Waverly Court in the preserves of Waterfall Glen. And as you probably already, and just to reiterate, in the meetings with the townhouse and condo owners, the developer's been unwilling to compromise on anything, yet he turns around, he's coming to you and asking you for big zoning variations. That's a little one-sided, personally. I find that disappointing, and honestly, that's not the kind of person I do business with. Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, if there's no one else, we're going to move to our old business item. There being no old business, we move to our consent agenda. I have to read each one of these, so please bear with me. Item A, consideration of a motion to approve an ordinance amending section 3-3-7-4 of the Darien City Code. Item B, consideration of a motion to approve an ordinance amending an existing special use and granting variations to the Darien zoning ordinance and sign code for 7409, 7417 Cass Avenue, known as Bona Beef. Item C, consideration of motion to approve a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a contract extension with Compass Minerals America Incorporated for the purchase of rock salt in an amount not to exceed $206,719.24. Item D, consideration of a motion to approve a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute an intergovernmental agreement between the City of Darien and the Darien Park District for rock salt. Item E, consideration of a motion to approve a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute an intergovernmental agreement between the City of Darien and Center Cass School District 66 for rock salt. Item F, consideration of a motion to approve a resolution authorizing the mayor to accept a proposal from Core and Maine for the purchase of commercial water meters and remote readers in an amount not to exceed $49,966.52. Item G, consideration of a motion to approve a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a contract between the City of Darien and Go Painters Incorporated for the 2021 fire hydrant painting Phase 1 in an amount not to exceed $74,958. Item H, consideration of a motion to approve a resolution authorizing the purchase of one new 2021 Peterbilt Model 348 cab and chassis to replace Unit 408 from JX Truck Center in an amount not to exceed $111,058.70. Item I, consideration of a motion to approve a resolution accepting a proposal from Monroe Truck Equipment for the purchase of a dump body and snow plow equipment, lighting accessories, and hydraulic controls for the 2021 Peterbilt Model 348 in an amount not to exceed $80,066. Item J, consideration of a motion to approve a resolution authorizing the purchase of one new 2021 Peterbilt Model 348 cab and chassis to replace Unit 109 from JX Truck Center in an amount not to exceed $98,554.65. And finally, item K, consideration of a motion to approve a resolution accepting a proposal from Monroe Truck Equipment for the purchase of a dump body and snowplow equipment, lighting accessories, and hydraulic controls for the 2021 Peterbilt Model 348 in an amount not to exceed $122,373. Motion to approve. Alderman Belzak, second by Alderman Shower. And the roll.
Belzak.
Aye.
Shower.
Aye.
Vaughn.
Aye.
Gustafson.
Aye.
Sullivan.
Aye.
Kenny.
Aye.
6 ayes and 1 absent.
Our consent agenda has been approved. That takes us to new business. Under new business, item A, consideration of a motion to approve an ordinance approving a major change in a previously approved plan unit development and granting preliminary PUD approval for Darien Heights, 2305 Sokol Court, and 2345 South Frontage Road. Motion to approve. Alderman Vaughn, seconded by Alderman Belzak, and discussion.
Lester, can I take this off?
Go ahead.
You okay?
Yeah.
I've just got a few things to say, and I just, my voice is already, not as strong as it should be for whatever reason tonight, and I've been watching a lot of what's going on. I'm going to say a couple of things here, and I'm hoping I'm not going to upset anybody. And if I do, I'm just asking you to respect, not to yell out from the gallery, because none of us yelled at any time when you guys were at the mic. Great? Great. Thanks. One of the things I'm hearing constantly is about renters. I'm hearing almost like it's a derogatory term. Attorney Murphy, Chief, is it against the law to be a renter? No. I've heard a lot of people, I won't say I heard a lot, but I've heard people talk about they'd like to have a condominium put there instead of an apartment. If there was a condominium there, it would be a lot better. Don't understand why Mr. Swanson can't, build a condominium there. And I think a lot of people, when he told us at the planning meeting, some time ago, that he couldn't get the financing for it. And as a realtor, I went ahead and I did some researching. He's right. It's very, very hard to get the financing to build the condo because Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae, who control the mortgages, have certain guidelines that require them to hold insurance in order to make sure that every one of those units is financed for people going in. So basically, he's got to pretty much have the units sold out before he can get occupancy. So it only makes sense, especially in a market where we've also heard tonight, where rentals are getting strong, okay? I've also heard that why would you put, a rental, and by the way, these are luxury rentals. This is not some.
No, they're not.
I asked and you agreed.
But I
Okay.
said no.
Congratulations. Okay.
It's a government grant under HUD, and you know it. You're in real estate, and you know it.
Sir, please, the Alderman's talking.
You're correct. I am in real estate. I've been doing it for 20 years, okay? And I also know to do my homework, and that's what I'm doing here, okay? One of the things I also heard through the letters that we received was that the city of Darien should go ahead and find, let me back up. I was interrupted. Why would somebody want to, live, in a luxury, built in an apartment building where there's nothing around? There's no restaurants, there's no bars, there's nothing else downtown, like in a downtown situation. Well, not everybody wants to be in a downtown. Not everybody wants to be in the hustle and bustle. There are probably plenty of people that want to come home from work at the end of the day and be quiet. And as we've all expressed, Darien is your neighborhood is a nice, quiet place. And I believe it stays as a nice, quiet place. We can't just assume that we're going to have all sorts of, negative things that happen. As far as a vacant lot that's been there for however many years, I think it's almost, I think having something there, a building, is better than having nothing there. And the reason being, from a value standpoint, is about.
You are wrong. You're a real estate guy. Why wouldn't you say that?
Here's what I understand when I'm showing property. When I'm showing a home and somebody sees an empty lot, they're asking me what's going there. We don't know yet. That could change. If this dies tonight, somebody can come back tomorrow with something worse. And let me go back up. Let me back up, because there was mention about the Sterling Bay project under a little bit here ago. Okay. When Sterling Bay came in, we had a lot of people in the audience, just same as it. They were looking. They didn't want it there. Okay. And one of the things that happened on the first night that we voted, I voted no, because the residents, like yourselves, didn't want a 40-foot building there. That was the only variance that was on that list. Okay. Sterling Bay came back weeks later and said to the city of Darien, we still want to build our building there, and we're going to build it to your code. And Attorney Murphy, correct me if I'm wrong, I followed legal counsel, and counsel said that if we decided to vote no on that when they are coming in and doing everything to code, then we can possibly be sued. And that's when I switched my vote on that. So I just want to get that straight out for the record, because that was mentioned by my old neighbor Brian years ago, and he plays a mean guitar, by the way. Okay.
Yeah, and Brian would like to say that you had code issues with Burnside, which went out of business.
Okay.
Keep that in mind, though, Joe.
Brian,
honestly.
Brian, I'm just making my points that I've got right here. Okay.
You know what? Tell the whole story.
Okay. I don't believe there's anything different from the appearance of a condominium versus luxury apartments. I believe strongly that if Mr. Swanson was able to get the financing to put condominiums in here, we wouldn't be having this discussion tonight.
You're right. You're 100% right. You hit it all right on the head.
Okay. All right. So, that being said, that tells me that we're going to discriminate on a homeowner versus a renter. And if that be the case, I'm listening, sir. I'm just answering what I'm hearing.
Listening to one guy.
I understand that. Okay. We can't. One of the greatest things about Darien, it's a nice place to live, is the people that comes here. We have the ability to have business people, professionals live in that space. You know, when I hear transients, I don't think of that. I think of something, and I'm no due respect to the Tivoli Hotel in downtown Downers Grove, or something you see downtown Chicago. I don't believe this is a bad project. I really don't. And I'm gonna end it right there.
We're not against the renters. We're against the color of the building, the height of the buildings, and the variances.
Too large, too close.
If he wants to change and come in and comply with all the ordinances, so be it.
And I'll grant you this. In negotiations, I asked Mr. Swanson, at the last municipal service meeting, could he change something, and he didn't. He elected not to. Okay.
Right. So if he wants to come into the city of Darien like Sterling Bay did with all the ordinances, then we have nothing to say. We're also talking about the color of the building that's going to sit there and be ugly. It doesn't match our community.
Oh, and one last question. Somebody mentioned it tonight. Water tower, which is not that far away from us. They've got a 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom, 2.5-bath townhome, very similar to what you got in Waterfall Glen. It's renting off at $3,800 a month. Okay, just saying. Okay, all right.
Any of the other aldermen have anything to say?
Ugliness.
Alderman Belzak?
Well, I've heard people say the building's ugly, and beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and quite frankly, property owners have rights too. They can make a building any color they wish to make a building. This is not part of a plan where they have to be the same as the Oakmont Way, or they have to be the same color as the townhomes. So that to me is a non-issue. What we're looking at is 4 variances, and whether they are substantial differences in what is already in the area. This building is going to be shorter than the condominium, smaller than the condominium. It is 20 feet away, and but it's 20 feet away from, not from someone else's home, but from a private playground. If you're appalled by the monstrosity of an apartment building, then I assume you're appalled by the monstrosity of the Oakmont Way condos, because it's smaller.
It all matches.
That's all I have to say.
Alderman Vaughn?
Your house?
Folks, please allow the alderman to talk, please.
Thank you, Mayor, City Administrator, Dan Gomback. I just want to say thank you for all your hard work in providing us with the information that we needed to make a good decision today. But I just want to address the public, and just as I was preparing over the weekend, I couldn't repress the embarrassment and the disappointment I felt after reading some of the comments in your emails that came off really derogatory, the tone in those statements, it came off to be kind of racist, and it promoted a level of classism that Darien is not proud of. You know, I believe that renters and owners can coexist together. I believe that renters, you know, they contribute to our community. And with this multi-development, I think it adds value to the bottom line of Darien.
Put it next
You
to
know,
that.
I'll welcome it. I'll welcome it. I'll welcome it. I'll welcome it.
There's the guy.
I'll welcome it.
Tell him, put it in your award.
I'm just going to finish my statement. I'm going to finish my statement.
I'm leaving. So long.
Also, after reading.
Let me go first.
After reading some of the comments about, you know, the decrease in property values and the negative impact or the blightness that it would have on the community, there's no factual data that actually supports those comments. And what we fail to recognize is that these renters, they go through background checks, they go through credit checks, just like you would as an owner. You know, so they add value to this community and they have skin in the game when they come here. This is not a transient living situation. Rental families provide a lot to our community and always have. It is irreprehensible, as if only people add value to our city as owners. All of us, we devote our time and energy to the city council voluntarily, and we try to operate in good faith and do what's best for the community. So I'd like to, you know, just admonish the aldermen for doing their due diligence on preparing themselves for this conversation. But lastly, we all have our own definition of what makes Darien a nice place to live, and in my view, what makes Darien a nice place to live, it's inclusivity and its diversity and its community. So I just want to just acknowledge your comments, but also share the values of what we represent here in Darien. Thank you.
Sir, I'm so sorry, I'm not trying to interrupt.
Could we hear from the rest of the aldermen, please? Anyone else? Alderwoman Sullivan.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Lester. I'm glad we're having open dialogue about this. I know my fellow aldermen have spent a lot of time preparing, reading communications from all the residents in the area, along with the supporting documentation that the city's provided, the background, the information presented by the developer. And I think Alderman Vaughn, you know, did a really excellent job right now recapping his feelings. We have had a very wide variety of communications come through. And once again, I think it's important that we remember that this is not about rentals. At least us as elected officials are not looking at this, or should not be looking at this, as rental versus ownership, because as a city, we zone the use of land, not the users of land. So if there's reasons of concern, it needs to tie back to the 4 variances that are being proposed for this property. And I have a problem with the density of the first variance, you know, that it's obviously exceptions have been made in the past. There are buildings that are around there. There was a proposal in 2005 that allowed for greater variances, in my opinion. It's pretty obvious in the chart that was prepared. But we're looking at, you know, what we're dealing with right now. I was not around in 2005 on the city council, but I do still have concern about the density at that location, having nothing to do with ownership versus rental. And we've been inundated with information, and it's been a lot to absorb, but it's important that we look at it all as one big picture.
Thank you. Alderman Shower?
Yeah, for clarification, Attorney Murphy, let's say if this was to be denied, then just throw this out there, and for all intents and purposes, somebody wanted to come in, what is this a zone for, so the public can know at home and hear what can be placed there?
Well, it's zoned for multifamily. That's the underzoning, because the PUD, there's what affect an overlay. So what it's zoned there for now is what it was approved there for in 2005. Right. This is not going from single family to multi. it's been approved for multi with this approximate density for 15, 16 years.
Okay, and the bottom line is that that's what this is zoned for, and it's going to be. Until we change it
Until there's a change, it's zoned for this particular type of use. To be sure, there's differences in building height, one building versus two building, but this property has been zoned for multifamily of this approximate density for 16 years now.
Okay, gotcha.
Alderman Gustafson?
Yeah, I served on the environmental committee for over 9 years. And I truly believe, first of all, that the city's restrictions for development are not tough enough. I think they allow far too large of a building for too small of a piece of property. I think those need to be reevaluated and toughened up. So I cannot support any kind of variance on this, because I think the variance would even be larger if we had the right restrictions on it. So I would have never approved the condo variances back then either if I was on the council. So, and like I said, I cannot support any development that requires variances to be put in place.
Okay, should we allow any more? Okay,
Concluded.
I've heard the alderman.
Quick question. The one comment came up, Dan, regarding stormwater. That's probably the first time I've heard anybody discuss the stormwater issue. Could you address that, please?
The overall planned unit development took in consideration the stormwater and the compensatory storage that's required. The only thing that they will be required to do is what's referred to as best management practices. So in a nutshell, that basically means they have to designate areas to which helps promote stormwater into the earth, is probably the best way to put it.
So it's just so pervious surfaces going down, or?
While the pervious surface is going down, there's still benefits to the best management practices that will take into consideration what he's doing.
Anything else? Okay. We've given the opportunity to the audience to talk. We've heard from the alderman, so I'm going to call the question. Will the clerk go?
I like to answer Fawn's question.
Ma'am, you've had your chance to talk.
I just want to say, I'm so sorry. That's not our intent. Our whole neighborhood is so diverse. We have people from every race, creed, color, sexual orientation, and we all get along. It's like a little Mayberry. Everybody loves each other. Everybody says hi. What we are scared of is they're not a team player. They don't want to play by any of the rules. They want everything bent for them. And we're scared of that. We're just scared of what Darien can turn into with businesses that don't care about any of us. It's not anything about that, sir, and I'm so sorry if anybody feels that way. That's not how we are, and we don't want to be misunderstood, because we just really care. And we've all been renters, and it's not that. It's the rules, the safety of the park, and it's just, that's what it's all about.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Chris, you've had your opportunity to talk.
I want to.
Can I have my 3 minutes?
No.
No,
Mayor, just go ahead.
everyone had that opportunity before. If they didn't come forward, I'm not allowing it now.
He wanted to apologize for something.
Talk to Vaughn about something.
No, never mind.
I asked the clerk to read the roll. Call the roll.
Vaughn.
Aye.
Belzak.
Aye.
Gustafson.
No.
Kenny.
No.
Shower.
Aye.
Sullivan.
No.
3 ayes, 3 nays, 1 absent. The mayor will break the vote.
Remember this.
I've attended all the meetings. I've heard all the testimony given by the residents. And a lot of my feeling is in the same vein as Alderman Vaughn and some of the other aldermen. So for that reason, I'm going to vote aye.
Okay, well, remember, let them build it in the ordinances, we wouldn't have a problem with it. I knew when it was 3-3, you'd go that way. Yeah, I'll definitely be disappointed.
So everybody up to this point rejected it, and you vote for it. Well done.
Paul?
Thank you, guys.
The ordinances, that's all we wanted. We welcome the apartments, and they're both in the ordinances.
I'm Paul Swanson, and I'm the petitioner. As you can see, I'm an old architect. I've been doing this for 50 years.
Paul, can I ask that you would talk after the meeting's over?
Oh, I thought you wanted me.
You had your vote. We had our vote.
Okay.
Okay.
I want to thank you. And I want to say this is a plug for Dan
Oh, go on.
Later.
and Jordan.
Later.
They've been wonderful to work with.
Later, Paul. Item B, consideration of a motion to deny a petition by the City of Darien for a text amendment of the zoning code regarding Title 5A, Chapter 9A, cannabis establishments, Section 5A, permitted locations for cannabis dispensing organizations. This amendment adds an additional property at 2019 75th Street, former Steak and Shake building, to list of permitted locations for cannabis dispensing organization. And as I stated, an affirmative vote is a vote to deny that. So could I have a motion to approve? Alderwoman Sullivan, seconded by Alderman Vaughn. Any questions or comments?
One.
Sullivan. If none, the roll.
Sullivan,
Aye.
Vaughn,
Aye.
Belzak,
Aye.
Gustafson,
Aye.
Kenny,
Aye.
Shower,
Aye.
6 ayes and 1 absent.
So this will not go forward. This is a dead issue now with the Steak and Shake. So Mr. and Mrs. Baranek, I'm sure you're happy with that.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, we appreciate it.
That takes us to our oath of office. Early in April, we had an election, and we had 4 of our alder people running for re-election. Alderman Ted Shower for Ward 1, Alderman Joe Kenny for Ward 3, Alderwoman Mary Sullivan for Ward 5, and Alderman Tom Belzak for Ward 7. We're now going to administer the oath of office. You want to start, Joanne, with Ted Shower?
Sure.
Should I come around front, or?
If you want to come down here. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Ted Shower,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and faithfully discharge
the duties of Alderman of Ward 1
the duties of Alderman of Ward 1
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my
Congratulations.
Good job. Good job.
Alderman Kenny, Ward 3.
It's my alderman. Please raise your right hand and state after me. Please state your name.
I, Joseph Kenny,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge
that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of Alderman of Ward 3
the duties of Alderman of Ward 3
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Mary, you want to come right behind
Mary,
you?
you can do right here. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Mary Sullivan,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of Alderman of Ward 5
the duties of alderperson, Ward 5,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Thank you so
Mary.
much. Joe?
Alderman Belzak.
Your baby book.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Thomas Belzak,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and I will faithfully discharge
the duties of Alderman of Ward 7
duties of Alderman of Ward 7
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Takes us to item D. Item D is consideration of a motion to advise and consent to Mayor Marquez's council committee appointments and chairman thereof. Motion to approve. Alderman Shower, second by Alderman Vaughn. Any questions?
Shower,
Aye.
Vaughn,
Aye.
Sullivan,
Aye.
Belzak,
Aye.
Gustafson,
Aye.
Kenny.
Aye.
6 ayes and 1 absent.
It's been approved. Next, it takes us to consideration of a motion to approve the reappointment of department heads, Greg Thomas for police chief and Daniel Gombeck for director of municipal services. Motion to approve. Alderman Belzak, second by Alderwoman Sullivan. And the vote?
Belzak,
Aye.
Sullivan,
Aye.
Vaughn,
Aye.
Gustafson,
Aye.
Wait a minute.
Kenny,
Aye.
Shower,
Aye.
6 ayes and 1
They
absent.
came up before the vote. What is that?
You guys must have been anticipating a positive vote. You were up here before the vote.
Chief doesn't have his dress whites on.
That's
Please
great.
raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Dan Gombeck,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and I will faithfully discharge
the duties of police chief,
the duties of police chief, I'm sorry, municipal services,
director, okay, according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations, gentlemen.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Dan,
Congrats, Chief.
congratulations.
Job.
Takes us to questions and
Congratulations.
comments.
Congratulations.
You're welcome.
Ryan, look forward to serving you.
Congrats, Dan. You're welcome. Thank you for everything.
Thanks.
It takes us to questions and comments of a general nature. Is anybody in the audience? Mr. Swanson, you can come forward.
All right. Well, I want to thank you for your vote. I want to tell you that I will not let you down. This will be an outstanding project. I wonder, driving down here tonight, where would the worst storm be, in the building or out of the building? Well, I don't know, maybe both. I talked to an older person. I won't mention her name. She asked me, could I move the building because it was 20 feet from the park over. I told her I couldn't do that. It's a park. The buildings are way beyond that, and it would mess up everything. But not only that, it would move the building closer. I put it there to keep it away from the existing condo building and not block their view. So I also told her that I would look at the coloring of the building. And I will do that to see if we can blend it a little more with the neighborhood. I don't have to do it, I'm going to do it. And I was saying that Dan and Jordan are wonderful to work with. I appreciate that they recommended the project. They're tough but fair. And again, I appreciate your vote, and you won't be disappointed, that I can tell you. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. Anyone else?
Did you say
Any of the Aldermen want to add anything?
just want real quick, Paul, did you say you're going to make that blend more with the neighborhood? So
Yes, sir.
it's not going to be the gray, they're talking about, the color?
I'm sorry.
Are you changing the color?
I might, yes, I'm going to look at maybe more tan colors to blend with the neighborhood.
Yeah, I wish you would have said that during the meeting when those people were here. It would have made it a little easier on some of us, okay?
Joe, it still comes back, the site plan still comes back to the city council.
Well, I understand that, but the people are not going to be in there to hear that. I would have loved if
Well,
you'd said
maybe
it.
they'll like me after that.
Yeah, if they're not going to like,
that
they're not going to like a few
No,
of us.
I didn't want to argue with them, sir, and
Okay.
a lot of things I said were exaggerations or not the truth, but I'm not going to sit here.
Okay.
And, but I don't have to do this, but I'm going to do it.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Mary?
And I didn't bring it up just because it was, an unofficial conversation. Paul and I have had a lot of conversations through this, as I've had with Jordan and Dan, and I've done my best to educate myself every step of the way. It was a very hard decision for me because it is the intended use of the property. But, for me, what it had to come down to was the density. I do think Mr. Swanson's going to be, there's some things, I've asked him several times, could you do it without variances? And, things like the aesthetics, he's willing to investigate, but nothing's for sure until it's approved site plans. But I really don't think, Joe, that would have changed anyone's feeling in the audience. They felt very strongly about several things and things that also were proven to not be true so. It's just, I want to thank Jordan and Dan and Attorney Murphy and Mayor Marquez. It was like an all-hands deck on deck, and I want to thank my fellow aldermen for taking the time to read and research and explain, their feelings. And I'm just very appreciative of that for everyone coming prepared and ready to discuss this and listen tonight. So thank you for that.
Anything else? We're dealing with a lost hearing aid here.
Oh, I'm like, what is he looking for?
Did
Is
you
there
hear
a mouse?
why I'm rolling around here?
What?
I'm looking for a $6,000 here.
I saw it fly out during public comment.
Thank you, Brian. Anything else? Anybody have anything else? By the way, I want to congratulate all the aldermen on their election, or re-election, and I want to thank you for all the time and effort you've put into examining this very important issue tonight. And it was a very important issue, and it's a project that I feel going forward will add to that community, and that's one of the reasons I voted yes. I've been known to make difficult votes in the face of people who are in opposition, and if anybody calls me tomorrow and indicates to me they're disappointed in my decision, I will defend my decision because I think it's the right thing to do. I don't make decisions based on how popular they are. I make decisions based on whether or not they're right, and this was the right thing to do for this property, and I will explain that to people. We made a right decision with Sterling Bay, and I made a right decision tonight with this, and I will defend that in the face of whatever people say. And however that turns out, that's fine. But I think, just like Sterling Bay, when you see this project and it's completed, especially if Mr. Swanson changes the color of the building, I truly believe that this building will add to that community. I really believe that in my heart, or else I would not have voted the way I voted. So with that said, I would ask for...
Mayor, I'm sorry. I just want Dan or Attorney Murphy, could you just reiterate to the council what remains, because it will come back one more time. Right, Dan? I don't know if the final plan goes back to committee. John, maybe you could explain that so everybody is aware when they see it again one more time on the agenda.
The ordinance has approved the preliminary PUD. It'll come back to the commission and to the council, not in public hearing, but for final PUD approval, which is to make sure that the final plan conforms to the preliminary plan, plus whatever recommendations may be made within the corral of the approval of number of lots, building size, etc. To follow up on Alderman Kenny's point, matters dealing with engineering are performance related, unlike the approval of the ordinance, which is discretionary. it discretionary with the council to vote yes or no. Stormwater management is mandatory performance-based. So as part of the final PUD approval process, that's when the developer has to spend the larger dollars on engineering to assure the city that stormwater will be managed on site in accordance with all requirements.
Thank you, John.
So I have a question. What happens then when we have 7 aldermen? Is there get a revote at that point? I mean, can the total vote change at that point when we have a full quorum?
You mean on final PUD?
Yeah.
Well, you're obligated to approve the final PUD if it substantially conforms to the approved preliminary PUD. So if there was a sudden reverse vote.
Well, it's an absent vote that's now present.
Well, this matter's over. So
That's what I'm trying to get to.
yeah, so
understand.
this is a final vote. And when it goes to final PUD, just like any subdivision, it's the same, we haven't done normal subdivision work in a while, but once a preliminary subdivision is approved, final subdivision approval is limited to make sure that that the final plan conforms to engineering, street layout, street width, things of that nature, technical things, and that's pretty much the same with PUD.
So John, you're not voting on the concept or that's what was done tonight. You're voting on the conformity.
The major change has been approved. Mm-hmm. So final PUD approvals is the functional equivalent of final subdivision approval to make sure that they satisfy all our requirements pre-construction.
Thank you for clarifying that.
Anything else? All right, I'd ask for a motion to adjourn. Alderman Shaver, second by Alderman Vaughn. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Who's this guy coming, Mary? Is he okay?
I don't know.
Is he okay?
Thank you for juggling a